What I would do for a GUGA steak. Look at how small that is. Look at GUGA's face. Chef Brian Tsao here, not your typical chef, and today I'm gonna be reacting to GUGA Foods I dry aged steaks for 1 year and ate it. Before I go on with today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to all of my amazing sous chef level patrons. All of the patrons really do contribute a lot to help with this channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are watching and want to support further, please consider becoming a patron. Be sure to visit the link in the description below. By becoming a patron, you get to take advantage of some awesome perks like discounts off my merch store, early access to new episodes, but more importantly, exclusive content for patrons only. And finally, if you can give me a follow on Instagram at chefbriantsao, it would be greatly appreciated.
Dry aged beef. I am addicted to it. I've done so many experiments throughout my cooking journey, and every single one of them I've learned something. And 90% are just delicious. You see, whenever you dry age beef, two things happen. Number one, it makes it super tender. And number two, it develops an amazing flavor. But today we're gonna push all limits, as I'll be dry aging a steak for an entire year. And hopefully it's going to be the best steak of my life. And everything starts off with the beef. This one is a 3-bone, beautiful standing rib.
I did react to him dry aging in Nutella. In that case, is it really dry aging? I mean, whatever. That one came out very strange. I saw the dry aging in yeast, and I also covered the dry aging in MSG, which was really cool. I keep mentioning this on these types of videos. GUGA is really, to me, doing something really cool considering his following and the amounts of views that he gets. For me personally, what really attracts me to GUGA's channel is he is doing things that I would never do as a culinary professional. I just don't have the resources to take a beautiful ribeye and dry age it in wasabi to see what happens. Although there are chefs out there that can and will, and I do my fair share of R&D, but it's all sandwich focused. I love learning what he does with this, and let me know in the description below what other videos you guys want me to react to as far as GUGA's channel goes, or even sous vide everything.
As you can see, it's just perfect to dry age steaks. Now here's what I'm gonna be doing. Since this is gonna be such a long dry aging experiment, I have to have a control. So first, I'm going to be splitting it in half. One of them, I'll be freezing it, and then I'll dry age it for 35 days. But the second one with 2 bones, I'll be dry aging it on my dry ager for a whole year.
Damn, dude.
After 365 days, this is what it looks like. It's no longer beef. It became a fossil. Even though this looks like it's moisture, it's not. It is 100% bone dry. The smell that comes out of this thing is funky. And as you can see, the dry ager did a wonderful job of preserving this meat. That's because there is no mold at all. And most importantly, it gives me confidence to go ahead and open this up. And right as I picked it up, I'll tell you one thing. It is a rock. And the opposite side, come on now. If that does not look like a mummy to you, I don't know what does.
As GUGA mentioned, there is no mold on there. That's the benefit of using a dedicated dry ager. It'll really keep your temp very consistent, you know, versus like you can dry age at your home fridge, but it wasn't designed to be a dry ager, right? Whereas a dry ager, that's exactly what it's designed for. So he can pull off an experiment like that. Very cool. I would love to have a dry ager. I do intend to get a new fridge for my basement so I can, you know, store extra food, but also kind of do some crazy experiments like this, because I really want to replicate the MSG steak, because I'm just that curious now after seeing GUGA's video, and I'm pretty sure you guys would enjoy that too.
I've done some crazy experiments before, which is very difficult to open it up. As you can see, I'm having a real hard time. Now, right at this point right here, the smell...
Wow, okay, before I keep watching this video, let's talk about dry aging itself. Can't recall all the technical and scientific terms off the top of my head, but here it is in a nutshell. One, it reduces moisture because it's dry aging, and as it just sits there, moisture escapes, and what does that do? It concentrates the existing flavor that's in there. On top of that, the dry aging process also tenderizes the meat. The muscle fibers, those start to break down, and thus it gets more tender. Just as time goes on, the enzymes in there do their thing, and just through time and it being a dead piece of meat, essentially, it tenderizes. All the muscle fibers start to relax and break down, but the enzymes that are in there start to change the flavor, and it starts to get a bit of this funkiness. And that funk is one of the desired effects of the dry aging process. I have to imagine it was discovered just by accident, because with a protein like beef, pathogens, viruses, bacteria, it only grows on the outside. It doesn't penetrate into the flesh, which is why after you dry age, yes, there's gonna be a little bit of mold on there and stuff like that, but you want to cut off everything on the outside, and then the center part is still edible. However, the cost of dry aging is, well, it raises the cost. There's a lot of waste, and that's why dry aged beef is more expensive than your average beef. Typically, dry age 30 days, very common. I've seen 60 days, I've seen 90 days, I've seen 120 days, a quarter of a year. Personally, never heard of anything beyond that, 20 days for me. And I've never tasted anything beyond 120 days. I have no idea what happens past that. Going at a year in a professional grade dry ager, I don't know, is it gonna turn into beef jerky? I have no idea. I have to imagine the oils just really go rancid at that point. There's a funk and then there's rancid. Let's find out now.
This funk is on a whole new level. And as we take a closer look, one of the biggest surprise for me is that it was still red. I thought this thing was going to be completely dry, so I went ahead and continued to open it up. First thing to do is to remove the bones. And as I took it off, take a closer look. Check out the edges. This is not looking very good. But I went ahead and put it on the cutting board and started to remove the opposite side. And again, it is tough. But once I was able to carve it out, now you can really tell that there's a really good amount of redness in there. This is a good thing. But hey, we still gotta remove a lot of these pellicles. So I went ahead and started to go to work.
Pellicle being the dried skin that's formed when protein sits out. So very common, like with roast turkeys or chickens that I would do. I generally let it sit uncovered for a period of time so a pellicle will form, and I tend to find that it gets, nice and crispy. It's easier to get nice and crispy.
I'm only looking for the good stuff. So removing everything that is unedible is a must. And once I was done, this is what I was left with.
Look at how small that is. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of dry aging is you lose a lot of product. Again, to me, very much worth it. But 1 year is a bit much.
The fact that there's still some
I wish there was
is
smell-o-vision.
really surprising to me. But one of the things that you cannot tell is the smell. Oh man, it is not
very
pleasant.
curious what it
However,
would
is
smell
this
like.
gonna be too funky for us? We're about to find out real shortly. Because take a look at our control steak, which this one was dry aged for 35 days.
Wow.
You can see I did have a little bit of loss, but not as much as the other one.
Yeah, look at that color on that. I mean, again, moisture has been removed. It's condensed down. Really surprised. I agree with Guga. I was half expecting it just to be kind of gross and, not necessarily brown, but maybe maroon.
Now, holding the steaks on my hand is also an experiment on itself. This one does not feel like a steak. It's like Play-Doh. As you can see, as I push the edges, it does not give at all. But hey, I cannot wait to find out how it's gonna taste. And for that, I'm gonna be keeping the seasoning real simple. A good amount of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. Hopefully, it's gonna be real good. But just in case it's not, I went ahead and prepared a quick side dish. We're talking about roasted potatoes. To finish them off, I added a good amount of Mexican crema on top, followed by some ketchup and a little bit of parsley for presentation.
I don't care what anyone says. Ketchup is the greatest condiment in existence. Hands down, mic drop. No arguments. Okay, maybe it's the most popular condiment. Listen, I love me some ketchup. One of my go-to meals as a kid, I haven't done it in a while, and now I feel like having it. It would be a bowl of white rice, 2 fried eggs, 2 slices of Kraft American Singles, and a bunch of ketchup on top, and I'd mix that up and I'd watch fucking Saturday morning cartoons. Damn, that shit was good.
A nice simple side dish just in case things go south.
Damn,
Because now the only thing left to
this.
do is to go ahead and cook these beautiful steaks. First, I'll be putting a sear in both of them. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit.
Very normal for Guga's cooking technique. It's a hard sear over the hardwood charcoal, and then shifts it off to the side so the charcoal is on one side of the grill, shifts the steak to the other side, and it's getting some indirect heat. And if you want to simplify it and, you know, for easier, to make it easier to explain, you know, he's almost kind of treating the grill as an oven. It's kind of achieving the same principle, except it's using this charcoal heat, and the steak is going to continue to get that smoky charcoal flavor. So it's going to be awesome. B-roll. Cue the Marlboro Man and Home Depot. Hammers and screws. Hell yeah. Hail to the fucking yeah. Look at that technique. Just swivel the whole grill grate around. Beautiful. Yeah. Perfect medium rare. Ooh, interesting.
All right, everybody, here we got our beautiful steaks, gentlemen, with an incredible side dish today.
Side dish looks good. The steaks, on the other hand.
What do you mean?
Beautiful, and then that one kind of looks like you cooked some spam.
That's exactly what it looks like.
You know how McDonald's used to have the super size me? It's like the super undersized me.
That is correct, Leo.
And there's something in the air that gives me an idea of something going on. It's a little bit extra.
Really?
Yeah.
Put a little closer to you.
Oh.
Oh, dude, what the heck is that?
Jesus. That smells terrible.
What are you talking about? That's the new type of Wagyu that Emilio sent over to me.
Emilio, take that back. Stop doing that. What the heck, man? I thought I was gonna be eating good,
always
bro.
the best part of the video.
What is this?
It's a new type of Wagyu for real.
How new could that be? It smells old.
It's from the snowy section of Japan. Very interesting. I'm curious to find out how good it's gonna be. Enough talking, everybody. Let's give this a go, right? So we got a little experiment going on, as you guys can tell, right? I wanna know which steak is better, which one is more delicious.
I have an idea.
You have an idea?
Yeah,
I think I have an idea.
I'm looking at the steak, and it looks worse, and it smells worse.
I say enough talking, let's give it a go. All right, we all start here. All right, enough talking, let's give this a go.
That's going to be
Cheers,
amazing
everybody.
as hell.
That is a good steak right there.
You see, you guys don't trust me.
What I would do for a
No,
GUGA
yeah.
steak.
Oh man, that is delicious.
I will go to Miami and cook you up. Are you in Miami? Sorry, I just pulled that out of my ass. I think in Florida, I'm pretty sure about that. I will go to you and I will cook you up like a goddamn storm. I will cook for you like no man has cooked for you before. I just want one of your steaks, my friend.
I think even though it's a control, still very juicy, still got the charcoal flavor, and I can't complain.
This is more what I was expecting, you know? Nice and beefy, juicy, and you just get a little bit of that funkiness. Perfect.
I agree 100%. This is a wonderful steak. I say enough talking because I'm excited for this one here.
Angel,
Yes.
yeah, Angel.
Yeah, thank you.
That's just a potato with some
That was-
crema.
GUGA, I'm buying time right now.
All right, let's try the side dish.
so that everybody's happy.
I am afraid of what I'm smelling.
It almost makes it a little bit difficult to breathe. It's very pungent.
Damn, that
This
bad?
snowy new Japanese Wagyu already not off to a great start.
Enough talking. Let's give it a go before these boys figure out what's going on over here. You guys ready? Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's good.
That's crema. Oh,
I
that's
mean,
nice.
It's
roasted
not
potatoes,
super crazy. It's not
cream
super
and
fancy.
ketchup.
It's simple, but it's effective.
And often, in my opinion, the simplest foods are some of the best.
This
Yeah.
new Japanese Wagyu.
This old Japanese, whatever that is.
I'll be completely honest. This is not a new Wagyu, all right? It's something that I did to the steak, and hopefully it's gonna turn out good. Enough talking. Let's give it a go. Go for it. Please dig in.
Oh my God, it's like cutting beef jerky.
It is exactly like that. It reminds me of spam. Smell it.
Oh my God, it smells worse than it. That is bad.
It is very, very strong, everybody.
Is this safe to eat?
100%.
100%.
I saw that.
I know you guys are super excited, but I say enough talking. Let's give this a go. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's like a f***ing eraser, bro.
Look at GUGA's face.
You still have it in your mouth? You swallowed it. It's extremely, extremely pungent. Pungent?
Pungent.
Pungent?
Yeah.
Pungent.
Yes, that, exactly.
This side dish is so good.
Oh man, you're the only one that swallowed. If you don't survive, we know the reason why, Angel.
We'll keep you guys updated.
I dry aged this steak right here for 35 days, and this one for a year.
A year?
You got issues, bro.
It doesn't smell like a steak. It doesn't feel like a steak.
It doesn't break like a steak.
And most importantly, the smell. As I was slicing it in the studio, you could smell this from all the way up to Japan, everybody. That's how bad it smells. It smells extremely funky.
If you like funk, all right, by all means.
I wouldn't even consider that steak.
It is now.
It's almost like eating a sponge.
I am not surprised. It was weird. Again, there are limits. Too much of a good thing is not always a good thing, okay? I just wish I can try it for myself. I'm very curious texturally what it's like, the smell itself. You know, they mention it's just not like a steak. It doesn't cut like a steak, feel like a steak, taste like a steak, texturally not like a steak. And again, there you go. Too much of a good thing doesn't mean it's a good thing. Doesn't mean it'll turn out great. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And with that said, I am Chef Brian Tsao, not your typical chef, and I'll see you really soon.